Well, hello there, crafting lovelies. I'm so glad that you could join me today. This cover plate is called the Nottingham Lace Cover Plate by Catherine Pooler, and it is just so delicate and dainty and just absolutely beautiful and elegant, lovely. I like to lay it over in white on top of another color, and it really brings out how detailed this is. So I'm going to cut it out of white cardstock, and I have a piece here cut to size already, and I run that through my Big Shot switch, and here it is. I have that on my magic mat, and I'll be honest, this does take a little while to take all the dots out, but if you have one of those roller brushes, it would go super easy. I don't, so I use the pointy end of a paintbrush. It wasn't terrible at all. It was absolutely fine. And here it is. It's just so lacy and beautiful. Look at how gorgeous that is. I can't get over it. It's just so elegant. I'd like to talk about Catherine Pooler inks for a minute. They are becoming more and more popular, and I know a lot of you use them, but for those of you that don't, I would just like to tell you a little bit about them. So Catherine Pooler has her ink collection split into two, and she offers these color wheel downloads. And this one here is for the Spa collection, which is more muted colors. And this download here is for the Party collection, which is more saturated colors. And you can see I've pulled a selection of both. So I have Flirty Fuchsia, Party Dress, Samba, and Orange Twist. So if you prefer the more muted colors, you could use the color wheel and pull those colors. Or if you prefer the more saturated, you could pull those colors. I also love the shape of Catherine Pooler's ink pads. They are just so versatile and user-friendly, and they're squishy, and they work so good for color saturation. And they blend great on Catherine Pooler's cardstock, which is made for her inks. And the blending ability on this cardstock is just out of this world. It's amazing. And so I will offer you guys that free download. I will link it here in the video. I'm just cutting a piece of cardstock here to use as my background blending piece. And I am using the more saturated colors, the party colors for this card. And so here I've put this on my We Are Memory Keepers magnetic platform. So I just put some two-way tape on the back of that card front onto a piece of scrap paper. That way I can hold it down, but magnet down that scrap paper and it won't move. So here I'm going in with the Flirty Fuchsia and a blending brush. And I start a little bit off the paper, and that just makes it not get those blotchy spots. Now, as soon as I said that, you can see I got blotchy spots there in that top corner, top right corner, because I didn't start off the paper on that side. But that's okay, because this is going to go behind the Nottingham lace cover plate, and it's not going to be noticeable. Plus, once this dries, these inks will blend even better. They just blend like butter. It's beautiful. So there I've gone in with all four of those colors: Flirty Fuchsia, Party Dress, Samba, and Orange Twist. And I'm just putting the final touches on that blended background. And there it is. That also looks like a beautiful sunset. Now I went diagonal, but you could go up and down or side to side, whatever you wanted to do. Look how that looks behind that Nottingham lace cover plate. So I'm just sticking on some glue. This is liquid glue in a glue pen form because it's very fine. And I'm just putting this on the back of that die cut piece and adhering that down. I flip it over so that I can get even pressure onto the whole thing. And then I'm going in here with Yours Truly dies, also by Catherine Pooler. And I'm just going to be cutting out one die in black and one die in white. So I take those and the dies over to my Big Shot switch, and here I've got them cut out. You know what? This card is so easy. It's really easy to do. I was trying to figure out the layout here of what I wanted. Did I want this heart on top? I really like that look. But then I decided I wanted them side by side. And I'm also trying to decide on the sentiment that I want. So I just take some liquid glue and I glue this black heart straight onto the cardstock. The card front. It is not popped up at all. It is just straight on there. But then I do pop up the white one after I heat emboss it, of course. I had to heat emboss I love you on there because I like the shiny black idea on this card. I just thought just to give the heart some interest, have the black shiny heat embossed look to it. So that's what I'm doing here. I've put this heart onto my precision press with two-way glue, and I'm taking that sentiment, I love you, and I'm taking a precision press plate and I'm pushing it down to pick up that I love you. And here's the Wow embossing powder that I'm using. And I'm getting my Wow embossing stuff ready and some Versamark ink and putting that in the blue container, which just contains the embossing powder, so it's not a big mess afterwards. And I get some tweezers and pick that heart up, shake it off. And the lovely thing about this magnetic platform, which is the beige piece underneath, is that it's magnetic. So I can just take one of those magnets and magnet it right to the platform, and it's heat emboss friendly. So I can heat emboss right on top of this magnetic platform. I love this magnetic platform. I just got it a couple weeks ago and I use it so much. It's really an amazing crafting tool. So here I've got that I love you on that small heart, and I am going to pop that up with some foam tape. So here I've got some foam tape pieces, and I'm just cutting some more to size of what I think will work and popping that on there. And once I have that on there and I'm happy with the placement of that, then I decide that I want to put some sequins on here. So I have sequin mix of Lisbon and Venice, and one is kind of orange and one is kind of purple. And I'm just deciding the placement of the sequins. And this takes me a little while because I couldn't figure out what I didn't love about this, but it was because I had them on the black in a wrong spot. I felt like the shadow effect or light effect that these sequins would be giving should be on the same side of the heart. So there, now that I have them both on the same side of the heart, I really feel now like this card is coming together. And after I get those glued down, I am putting acrylic blocks on top just for weight and to hold them down, to the glue in place. Then I have this piece of black cardstock that I'm backing it onto, and I'm pulling out my mini trimmer because it's just a tiny bit too big. So sticking that in my mini trimmer, figuring out how much I need to chop off of there. There, I've got that piece off. That's perfect. Now I'm taking my ATG gun and just putting some two-way glue right onto that piece and putting it onto the black piece, which just gives it a fine black line around it. It ties this whole card in together. Now I am custom making a white card base because this is a little bit bigger than your standard card size. So to do that, I grab my The Works All-in-One tool by We Are Memory Keepers, which has this scoring option on it here. And I score it at a line that is appropriate with the border around the black so that all the sides of the white will be the same size. And then I do need to trim off some of this again in the mini trimmer, just so that all four sides will be equal of the white. And that is how easy it is to make a custom card base. Now I am taking some liquid glue so that I have room to maneuver it afterwards once it's on. If it's not perfectly centered, I will have some time with the liquid glue to get it centered perfectly. And that's what I'm doing here. And that is it, you guys. This card is done, and it came together so easy and was a very easy card to make. And look at how those colors just pop against that dainty, fine black outline of the background, plus that black heart. It's just so gorgeous in real life. Plus the I love you and the little bit of shine that it has on the white heart. It just adds some interest. It's just, I love everything about this card and how easy it was to come together. You guys, I will link the color wheel free download at the end of this video or down below. Wherever you are watching, please look for it. I am the Rocky Mountain Crafter. You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on my blog at therockymountainCrafter.com. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.